Hey, what's going on to all of my Aries? So let's get into it. Okay. So you Aries have the Empress. Oh, the King of Wands. Excuse me, Queen of Wands. Knight of Swords. Ten of Wands. The Fool. The Seven of Wands. Two of Wands. The Moon. The Nine of Pentacles. The Hangman. Okay, so this is for Aries. So what I'm seeing here for you Aries is you Aries have to be careful with the type of people who you're going to meet in the future. You Aries, let me see if I get this glare out of the way. Sorry about that. But you Aries have to be very careful about the type of people who you will meet in the future. Because if you're not, you're going to find yourself in a situation where, um, hold on a second, yo. Sorry about that. But you're going to find yourself in a situation where, um, there are going to be people who are trying to take advantage of you again. And obviously, I'm sure that a lot of you Aries don't want to deal with that. So how it is that you go about doing that is by paying very close attention. Don't give your attention to the wrong people. If you do, what will happen here is you'll find yourself be hanging out with somebody who's asking you for a lot of things immediately. They will want to know about what's going on. They'll ask you for money. They'll ask you for favors, a lot of favors. Favors that are kind of a big thing to do, right? Even in the context of knowing somebody. The Knight of Swords represents these people coming in and saying, what's up? Trying to get you to do favors for them. The Ten of Wands and the Fool represents leave them alone. You know everything that you need to know about these people. The best thing for you to do is to essentially leave them, because if you don't, they're only going to start asking you for bigger and bigger favors, because they are essentially using you. They're trying to use you. And I really don't like to bring this type of news to people because I really do rock with Aries at the end of the day. But um one of the worst things for Aries, just like Scorpio, just like Virgo, just like Capricorn, is the love aspect. A lot of times Aries has the aspect of love really wrong. They cater to the people that treat them like trash, and then they don't cater to the people who treat them like gold. I've seen it plenty of times, because a lot of the times the Aries is caught up in the game, right? The game. What do I mean when I say the game? The game in the aspect of like looking for the rebel, looking for that whole concept of dating the bad type. That's Aries. That concept is Aries, right? The rebel, the rebel, right? The person who rides a motorcycle, for no reason. The rebel, the so-called outlaw, right? The supposed out, because that's not even what an outlaw is, but a person who borders between doing criminal things and being a law-abiding citizen, that type of thing. That's Aries. And you Aries need to understand to let that type of mentality be only for you or other Aries people. All right? Let that only be for you. That whole concept of people treating you like trash when you've done so good for them, you've done so much for them, Stop looking out for people who don't look out for you. And you Aries are learning your lessons. Good. And you're not. And I've been hearing a lot of Aries people say that, right? A lot of famous people who you heard of. But then you have the Seven of Swords, excuse me, Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands, I'm sorry, y'all. The Seven of Wands represents, anyway, I got to truck through this. The Seven of Wands represents those people are going to, the Seven of Wands and the Two of Wands represents those people are going to try to convince you that if you do them a favor, they'll be your best friend. Or the relationship would be so much better if you did this for them. Don't allow them to play you. Don't allow them to play you, Aries. This is another game that they are playing. If you allow these people to play you in that way, then you're going to forever be a chump, because it will have effectively learned nothing. You will have learned nothing from the trials and tribulations of people saying that they rock with you, and then when push comes to shove, you actually see that they abandon you and they really don't. And I want you Aries to get much more respect in that. Allow these people, Two of Wands, right? Allow these people who represent the Two of Wands, the users, allow them to fall by the wayside. You are not their parent. It's not your responsibility to take care of them. And then the moon is that once you start alleviating yourself from that issue, watch how many people have a problem with it. Watch at how many people start to have issues. Watch at how many people are like, why are you acting like this? And you changed up and you switched. Those same type of people who telling you that you changed and you switched up, now that you have more self-respect, those are the type of people who you shouldn't really be hanging out with. Because these people, because what's the idea? The idea is for them to continue to mooch off of you because you have low self-worth. And how dare you raise your self-worth to a realistic level to where it's not delusional either way, delusionally low or delusionally high. How dare you, right, know what it is that you're worth and know your value and actually start to have something called self-respect, i.e. decency. How dare you do that? It's a problem for them. The mere fact that you made it into this, it doesn't even have to be this way. Why can't you just allow them to manipulate you? Why is it so difficult for them to manipulate you now? The Nine of Pentacles and the Hangman represents the Nine of Pentacles, you shouldn't even be paying attention to them after you realize that they're trying to play you. You're beyond them. You're better than them. You should be better than them by now. To you, Aries, who got past to this point where you didn't allow them to play you, good job. You're learning. You're learning how to have self-respect, more self-respect. Aries, you got to understand, and I really mean this. Aries people do not have a whole lot of self-respect because they're beaten down due to all the wars that they've lived through, the conflict. That conflict is supposed to make you stronger. Then you have the Hangman. The Hangman represents, these are also times where you're supposed to go through this because you're supposed to learn the darker natures of yourself. Do you want respect? If you want respect, then you're not going to allow people to just come through and say whatever to you and run game on you and tell you that they need this amount of money for this or they need this for that. You're going to tell them, no, F off, no way. And because you able to tell them that, and as a matter of fact, it was an Aries who taught me, some game about self-respect. Shout outs to Aseta Ducateers, who is an Aries, ironically. Arcea said, excuse me, Arcea said, Arcea said, is in this life, it's not about what it is that you say yes to. It's about what it is that you say no to more. Because what it is that you say no to immediately sets a capsize or a capstone or a ceiling as to the BS that you or the tolerance that you have. Yeah. Yeah. So what that sets up is it leaves the door open for the things that you will say yes to and the things that you will accept, because your line or your boundary within your own self has been drawn now in the sand. So you know what you are willing to tolerate, and more importantly, what you're not willing to tolerate. So that now you understand what you're not willing to tolerate, you can actually start to get acquainted with what you are willing to tolerate. That was one of the cold. I don't know if Arcea watches these videos, but that was one of the coldest things that Arcea, who is an Aries, ever said to me. Yeah, because then because then it always stuck with me. That was one of the coldest things that I've ever heard. I'm serious, from an Aries. So I'm gonna go ahead and clarify the Hangman, because you Aries need to learn that you can't always be the nice, enthusiastic individuals. Sometimes you will have to be the jerk in order to get things done. That's how it is that the cookie crumbles. If you're out here saying yes to everything, people will take advantage. To clarify the Hangman, you have the Fool, you have the Justice, you have the Eight of Swords. This is a situation where again, and you already have the Fool. The Fool's over the Hangman. So this shows you, and that's some spiritual stuff right there. The fact that I got this like this, because the because the Fool represents the Kabbalah, the Hangman represents the Fool in the clip off. So they both ultimately represent each other. One is light, one is dark. Look at how that turned out. That's That, look at how that turned out. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that just makes it even more true how you need to learn to let go certain times and have that edge. What people are talking about when they say have that edge is stop trying to be the nice individual. Being nice will get you used. What do people mean when they say being nice will get you used? What they mean is learn how to have boundaries. Learn to understand when people are trying to play you, and it's an obvious play. Tell those people no, or feed into it and say you're going to do it and then flake on them. Stop being nice. The nicest people in society are the people who get taken advantage of. I'm not saying that you have to be inconsiderate, a jerk, and disrespectful. What I am saying is stop allowing people to use your kindness for weakness, because your kindness will be used against you. That's what the Fool is trying to tell you. You have to learn to get in touch with the darker natures of reality. That being too nice will get you used. It's not all about you, Aries, having fun and going out and chilling. You can do that. That's all go. But at the same time, when people are trying to manipulate you and mess with you, you're supposed to tell them no. You're not going to allow yourself to be used as a toy or and objectified by anybody. Do you know what Aries is? Do you really want to know what Aries represents? Aries represents Lucifer, the loose fire, the renegade individual that thinks for themselves. Aries represents the soul, just like Leo, just like Sagittarius. Yes, study the nature of fire. Then you have the Justice, which is the exact opposite of Aries, which is Libra. And this is the way that the world works, is what the justice is trying to tell you. It's not all about trying to be nice. So you even seeing it in the cards. And then you have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords represents don't be too much of a jerk, and don't be too nice. You're too much of a jerk, people will dislike you and they will want to see your destruction. You're too nice, people will think that you're better than them and they will want to see your destruction. That's the reason why it is that you need to get in touch with your darker natures and blend the darker and the lighter natures of yourself together to make the better complete, the more complete, better person. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to get this YouTube channel to 2,500 subscribers. As of right now, I have 2,330. Keep smashing that subscribe button. Peace.